Hi everyone, we are Group 8 and we are going to be evaluating Tesla. My name is Michelle Rayo, we have Giovanna Bravo, we have Michael Kessler, Danny Paul, and Lane Sanchez. Reviewing Tesla's history, what has made them the company that they are today? Well, it all started when entrepreneur Martin Eberhard realized that there was a potential market for a more environmental car that wasn't the nerd car, a sports car that really took care of the environment. Through talking with GM's engineer, El Pinoni, they were able to realize that they could use the lithium batteries to pursue this interest. With Elon Musk's investment of $6.3 million, he was able to become the chairman of this company, and Herbert became the CEO of Tesla's Motors. Through 2007 and 2008, Tesla saw a bit of a rough patch. They actually were able to name the first prototype the Roadster, and Musk added an investment of $55 billion. Through a clash of personalities, Eberhard lost the confidence of its investors. And as a result, the Roadster was now being managed by someone else. As a CEO, they actually missed their deadline and triggered a full $4 million contract fee with the manufacturer of the facility that they were going to create this Roadster. Things did turn around, and the first 7 Roadsters hit the road. And then the Model S was also introduced. In 2012 and 13, you can really see the ambition. Tesla, it had 10,000 reservations for Model S, and in June of 2012, the first Model S was ready. In addition, Tesla was able to purchase its first factory, and it began to produce batteries for other electric vehicles in order to supplement their income. In 2013, the company also announced that they had profits, and they had raised over $1 billion by issuing new shares. This was really surprising, and on top of that, they also announced that they were able to pay back its government loan. Overall, in 2015, we can really see the big picture of the company. The Model X was introduced alongside a new mainstream market of the Tesla's cars, and Tesla became a $3.2 billion company. We wanted to know if Tesla's cars can be competitive in the mass market, and if they are profitable in the long run. The objectives of this evaluation is, we wanted to evaluate the business model of Tesla. We wanted to figure out what their differentiation strategy is and how sustainable is it. We wanted to know if we would personally invest in the company, but we realized that innovation has been a building block of the company. We wanted to know if it can realistically continue to innovate in the future.
All right, so I'm going to go into the background of the company, and I'm going to do that by going into the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So to start off with the strengths, it's a really great place to work at. They retain and they attract new talent. They were actually featured in Forbes magazine as America's best employer. They have also become one of the top car manufacturers. Revenues have been increasing year over year, and the company is expanding. They also have the best product, the best car. It's got the longest range for an electrical vehicle. It's got luxury features, and it's the superior software for any electric car. Into their weaknesses, they have had some manufacturing issues because of the innovation of the company and the complication of the car. They've had issues manufacturing the car. Because they are coming out with the Model 3, it's going to amplify these issues because there's going to be really high demand for that car. Another weakness is Elon Musk. He is definitely a genius, and he's really good at building companies. However, some people see an issue with him being the lone representative of the company. He's spread really thin with his other companies like SpaceX and the Boring project. Boring. And then he has an issue with professionalism. He's tweeted in the past about stock, and he's gotten in trouble with it. And then he was also smoking weed on Joe Rogan's podcast, and it forced their stock to drop by 9%. Opportunities, really the biggest opportunity for them is the market shifting into the electric market. It's trendy right now, but I think eventually it'll be the norm because friendly and environmentally friendly vehicles are becoming more important. Also, the more affordable Model 3 is going to be a huge opportunity for them. Their vehicles are great, but most people can afford the high ticket price of their other models. So the Model 3 is going to be more cost effective. Lastly, threats. Competition is their biggest threat. Many other auto manufacturers are already coming out with, have already come out with electric vehicles. Some people just aren't able to justify spending the money for the luxury Tesla, so they opt to go with the more cost-effective manufacturer. Lastly is the liability and litigation issues that they've had. They've had problems with their autopilot features, and so they face a lot of liability down the line from where their vehicles have caused accidents.
So for the corporate level strategy, direct sales, Tesla believes that by using direct sales, it can gain an advantage on product development, but most important on the customer buying experience. Tesla also has made use of internet sales where consumers can now customize and purchase online. For service, opening service centers in certain areas is due to the high customer demand. Customers can charge or service vehicles at any service sales center or Service Plus locations. Models like the Model S have a feature where they can wirelessly upload the data and technicians can view and fix the problem without even having to physically touch their car. Also, the supercharge network. Tesla has created supercharge stations in an effort to bring awareness and speed up the rate of adopting electrical cars. The degree of shift is incremental. Tesla is working on new versions of the Roadster, claiming that it will be the quickest car in the world. As the number of cars delivered all throughout the United States, Europe, and Asia has been increasing, so has product efficiency. For the business level strategy, the differentiation strategy, product distinct from others. Tesla makes sure that products aren't similar from others offered by other companies. This strategy makes it easier for consumers to identify the company's product in the market, and Tesla's products can't be surpassed as they come with environmental free technology.
Okay, so for the global strategy, Tesla, their first car they built it was the Roadster, and it was based on a Lotus frame, which is a sport car company that is based in the UK. So the first, the Roadster was, the company was able to sell 1,200 units of the Roadsters, and it reached out to 28 countries, and such as Japan, Canada, Turkey, and Poland, and some Middle Eastern countries. So the price for the Roadsters were $109,000 with 250 miles range per charge, which was the huge deal back then because it was the very first car that hit the road with that much of miles range per charge. Also, it was the very first car that is fully electric that hit the road. So after that, the company wanted to expand their operation and build new wide range of models and reach new group of people, not just the higher class, middle class, and lower class too. And finally, they started building new facilities such as the showrooms and new manufacturers, such as the Gigafactory. The showrooms, I believe you guys have seen a couple of them in the malls, like especially in Fashion Valley in La Jolla, if you guys know that area. So the Gigafactory is also, there's one in California, one in New York, and then the pictures provided is the new manufacturer that they're building. And believe it or not, this is not even complete. This is in Nevada. And I also provided a YouTube video for it if you guys want to see it. It's just a quick tour for it. And also the other picture is just for their Roadster, the very first car for them. So next, the innovation strategy. So after the success they had with the Roadsters, the company wanted to build a fully new car that is made by Tesla and Tesla only, and it was the Model S. And then later on, they did the Model X. The Model S is the sedan, and the X is the SUV. So the cool thing about the new car, these two cars, is just they had huge upgrades, especially with the miles per higher mile per charge, and also do motors and all-wheel drive and so many options. The prices for them starts from $57,000 to $80,000. It depends on what package you want to get. So these kind of options or features they provided, it made a huge deal for them. And what also pushed the company forward is that they just didn't just build the vehicles and that's it, but no, they built other products such as the solar energy system, solar roof tiles, and megapack batteries, which also they were just not selling for customers, but also for other businesses and like companies, which would open in other doors for them to have a new source of income and have a new relationship and um, be able to even grow more. I would say these strategies it fit very well with the company because they had a leading technologies, they had a superior product, forward thinking, solid brand name, and I think that's the most important one because Tesla had a huge positive comment from people, from companies, from everybody, and they were able to even compete with other companies such as BMW, Mercedes, and Audis because such a positive comments they got from their customers and the other companies made them to be even have that superior I mean the brand they have a more brand name than every other competitors they had. So and next I'm gonna go over structure and control system. So just to go quickly over the structure and control system, the company uses functional organizational structure, which groups every group, we groups all of company employees based on their skills. Um, so if you're in production, you work on the production, or your service, you work on the service based on your skills. Just a simple structure, functional structure. So partnering with Toyota is a big because such a new company that was able to partner up with Toyota is a huge deal because Toyota is the biggest company in the world. Everybody knows that. So they were able to partner with them and then build for them batteries for their RAV4s and then for their periods. So that's a huge push forward. And also, they used the direct suppliers. They didn't have a third-party suppliers, just the direct suppliers such as Panasonic, AGC, Automotive, and Intiva products. They built for. I mean, they provided them with other parts for the Teslas. For the control system, they had the 3 stages. Well, first they started with the Model S and X, and later on they they're building the Model 3. And as my colleagues mentioned, they are very high quality vehicles, low inventory levels, and higher sales. So the question that comes into mind, would these match their strategies, the company strategy? I would say definitely is, because if you look at the employees that the Tesla hired, they were coming all from companies that already were in that industry, in the electric companies. So that's what enabled them to not have a training cost, I would say. Also, I think the smart move is to buy such a huge building and use just 20% of it. So when you have a new idea or when you want to expand, you'll have the room for it. You don't have to use anything. You don't have to buy a building. So, and last 3 bullets I would say is just they had the new showrooms and online selling, which is direct selling. Also, parts were built inside the manufacturer, so the parts were moving smoothly, and they increased their supercharging stations. So I would say they definitely match their strategy systems.
So just going a little bit more into the social responsibility of Tesla, they are worried about the suppliers not adhering to social responsibilities. A lot of the suppliers are companies outside of the United States that don't quite follow the same norms as well as laws that might be in the United States. So they are aware they might have an impact from negative press. Negative press is relevant within the automobile industry. So they are worried about that kind of happening and the press finding out and them getting a negative connotation about that. Additionally, there was no impact report filed for 2012, which is important to investors, and that still has not been to this day. Overall, into the ethics a little bit, they are green vehicles, so they have been shown to lessen the CO2 output per person that might own a green vehicle. Overall, for the recommendations, we do recommend that Tesla releases an impact report so the public as well as its shareholders can quantify the possible good the company is doing and just kind of showcase everything. Additionally, watching for those unethical practices, especially within their suppliers that might be in emerging markets. Going a little bit into the financial analysts of the company, for the past couple of years, Tesla has been operating at a net loss, as well as the stockholders' equity has been in a deficit. Although this is still kind of going on, if we were to look at the graph in the bottom, if you were to put $100 in Tesla Motors, the NASDAQ composite, as well as Car Group that has a many major motor vehicle and passenger car body companies, you would kind of see that the return on investment is essentially the same, which is really good to know, even though they are operating at a loss, because there is the investors are still very optimistic about Tesla, and they are really curious to see what they're going to do. And the innovation really is kind of being their main driver right now in this market. So going a little bit into the financial ratios that Tesla has, according to their 2012 10K, they have a liquidity ratio. The current ratio is 1.126 with a debt ratio of 0.888 and a shareholder equity ratio of 0.112. So just kind of capping off this financial analyst, the total returns for Q4 from 2012 is $306 million, which is a 500% increase over Q3. So we can see that as the company is using a lot of money for innovation, it is paying off tenfold. For some recommendations that were even prescribed by Tesla themselves, in the first quarter of 2013, they expect to generate a slightly positive net income, and it's on a non-GAAP basis. And additionally, they do expect to spend significantly less on capital investments than they did in 2012, as they've concluded many of those investment projects that we've seen in the past. As they continue to spend money in this R&D and these capital expenditures, we see that it does tend to pay off very well for Tesla. As far as recommendations go, we do suggest for a lot of improvement, reaching that lower middle class in order to compete with those other competitors, clarifying the switching costs, as well as building more charging stations globally. So just kind of how does Tesla really plan executing this, and how do we think they should do it the best? We think that they should reach lower middle class in order to kind of compete with other competitors and create a more affordable car for that middle class. Stop only catering to those who might be able to afford, those more expensive cars, but kind of looking to grasp the market a little bit better. Also clarifying the switching costs, making sure they're communicating with the customers why switching to electric cars can save them more money in the long term, and as well building more charging stations globally. So really investing on this portable charging stations so that people see that Tesla logo, they kind of see the value behind Tesla. And finally, for the buy or no buy, it is our professional decision based on the analysis presented that we recommend that the IE company to acquire this company. Our decision was based upon the company's been successful in the auto manufacturing business, and that has not happened since 2012. This is a very brand new emerging company, and they're doing quite well. Although the company has not seen revenue, the company has been able to pay back its government loan, which is very unprecedented. Additionally, the cars have been innovative, and Musk has continued to successfully run this company.